June 15th is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Seniors are among the community's most vulnerable people. Experts say there are signs and resources we should be aware of to keep them safe. Rich Zuck is executive director of Pitt County's Council on Aging. He says the elderly are more susceptible to abuse. They may not speak up to ask for help, especially when they're being abused by members of their own family.
That generation is a more trusting generation than other generations. So back in their day, when somebody said something, it was real. And unfortunately, in today's world, there's a lot of people who say things that are not real, and they are a trusting generation. And so that's what opens up a lot of our seniors to abuse.
Zek says his team advises families and caregivers to look for specific kinds of abuse.
With physical abuse, financial abuse, and just general neglect, and then the emotional, those are the four pillars of abuse that we look for and encourage caregivers and loved ones to look out for in their loved one's life.
He says neglect and emotional abuse are seen more often than physical abuse.
People think of abuse as, physical, where there's bruises and marks, but the majority of the abuse is unseen. And that comes from things like just negligence, like people not getting enough food or water, or basic hygiene with bed sores or smells or loss of weight or sunken eyes. And then, some people argue is the worst is the psychological abuse. Mm-hmm. The demeaning, talking down and verbally abusive or ignoring.
Many senior care facilities have specific workers who investigate complaints.
We always recommend is Adult Protective Services, APS. That's the go-to place immediately. And all people have a moral and an ethical obligation to look and be aware of that, because these are vulnerable populations that may not be able to protect themselves.
Zuck says the most important things people can do are to listen, be aware, document, and reach out to professionals like Pitt County's Council on Aging. Professionals can ensure abuse situations are handled properly. Know the senior resources in your area and who to call if you notice signs of abuse in someone you know. I'm Emily Severidge, 9 on your side.